Boxing truth here. I had to talk a little bit about rising contender Tevin Farmer. He's coming off an impressive win on Showbox Extreme. Got some exposure in the undercard bouts. And he displayed a lot of skill, a lot of defensive skill. Also getting in there and fight, getting the best of Redkach in both sides of the game, on the outside and the inside game. Show a lot of entertaining boxing out the way it should be. Not fighting like a bitch, but actually countering, staying in the pocket, staying out of range and getting back into position to engage. It was a good performance. Even though Redkach outweighed him by much, there was a size difference. Tevin Farmer handled Redkach with ease. One-sided performance. Frustrated Redkach even was beating the shit out of him in some rounds. The only thing Tevin Farmer really lacks is concussive knockout power or great power, but he can break you down with his combinations, his skill set, and his speed, footwork. The guy's the boogeyman in a 130-pound division. He's a guy that you should only fight unless you absolutely have to. And of course it's hard for Farmer to get big fights because he doesn't bring much economic muscle to the table. You're not going to get rich fighting him, and you're not going to look good against him because he has a very difficult style to deal with. It's very slick, defensive. He's fast. He can fight. Slickster. And he's a guy that's just contenders and champions will avoid unless they absolutely have to fight him. But I want to talk about Tevin Farmer's situation outside the ring, which is a little interesting as he is a new signee of Al Haymon's stable. Al Haymon has signed Tevin Farmer to an advisory agreement, and there's some people that are upset with Farmer's decision to sign with Al Haymon because of the background story to it. Farmer's had a tough career coming up. You know, he took some lumps along the way, began his career with a record of 7-4. And at that stage, no one believes in you. No one's going to take a shot at you. No network, no promoter. But somebody did. And this person, his former manager, was the only one to believe in him. Gave him a shot. Got him back on his feet and got him into position as a contender. Getting him some exposure. Getting him on a run of 15 straight wins. He's now won 15 straight fights ever since beginning his career at 7-4. And some people are upset that Farmer didn't show any loyalty to his former manager, as his manager believed in him, got him on his feet, pretty much didn't make any money off him, didn't make a dime in his career, because when it comes to boxing, you only make money at the top level. Once you get your fighter to HBO and Showtime, that's when you get paid a little bit. You know, you make some license fees. But if you're fighting on off-TV undercard bouts or small shows, you'd be lucky to break even on an event. But Farmer and his former manager, they positioned themselves to a 15-0 record following a 7-4 start to his career. It's not all credit to his former manager. Farmer also dedicated himself to the sport, became more serious about his craft, took it as a hobby when he first started. The guy began boxing at 19 years of age, and he's much more dedicated now. He's getting good sparring with Lomachenko, world-class fighters, and he's displaying his skill set and how good he is with each and every fight. He's been looking good, dominating guys. He's not fighting the elite level opponents, but he fights who he can get, who they can put in front of him. Since he's not a money guy and he doesn't have a belt, and he's a stylistic nightmare for a lot of fighters in the 130-pound division. But Farmer, he made a decision to sign with Al Haymon, leaving his former management team. And you can see both ways on it was a tough decision for Farmer. I mean, he left the guy who believed in him when no one else did, got him back into a contending position for a title, at least ranked by a sanctioning body. Got him some TV dates, HBO Latino, the ShowBox Extreme cards. But we'll never know if his former management team could have took him to the promised land, gotten him the type of fights that he needed to get to that next level. So he signed with Al Heyman, and it's understandable why he did. Heyman's going to get you some decent paydays. He's got networks. He's got a lot of networks, time buys, also Showtime. He's got a 130-pound champion in his stable in Pedraza. He's got a lot of featherweights that Tevin Farmer can fight. So it was a business decision for Farmer, which I understand completely. Heyman can get you some exposure, decent paydays, but there's ups and downs to signing with Al Heyman. There's no situation in boxing is perfect. Signing with Top Rank, signing with Golden Boy, signing with Heyman. There's always something that's a downside. And then with Heyman, if you ask Andre Berto, hell yeah, it was upside signing with Heyman. I mean, the guy's a hype job. He ain't that good, not a top fighter, not a top welterweight, but yet he's making multi-million dollars, paydays, still getting opportunities to fight big names. So if you're an Andre Berto, signing with Al Heyman was a great business decision. But it hasn't been panned out for other fighters like a Gary Russell or a Danny Jacobs or a Peter Quillen. They've had to make, some decisions that have not gotten the respect from the boxing world. They're not active. They fight once a year, and when they do, they don't fight nobody, taking pointless rematches. So there's an upside and a downside to signing with Heyman. But Farmer, with the way he looked this past Saturday night, he needs a power broker in the sport to get him to that next level. And Heyman could be that guy. But Heyman, the thing is, he has so many goddamn fighters. It's very hard for him to fulfill his duties completely when he has 200 other fighters that he represents. So it's almost impossible for him to look out for your best interest when he has other fighters in the stable that are higher on the ladder, that have more value, and with possible clients that Farmer may fight in Al Heyman's stable. So there's ups and downs to signing with Al Heyman, but for Farmer, he deserves more exposure. The guy can fight. He's a risky fight for anybody at 130 pounds. Only Lomachenko can handle Tevin Farmer. And Farmer has shown great respect to Lomachenko from his sparring sessions. He says that he's the best at 130. And now that he's with Heyman, he's going to get some opportunities to be on TV. It remains to be seen if Heyman can hook him up with, bigger fights. Maybe a world title shot, but he's got the connections. He's got influence in the boxing business. He's got a good relationship with the WBC. And right now, Farmer's rated number 13 by that sanctioning body. And Francisco Vargas holds that strap. So it is what it is. Farmer made a business decision. I could see both sides as to why people were upset that, he left his former manager, who pretty much got him out of a hole when he was down and out, 7-4, couldn't even beat Jose Pedraza. And now he's on a 15-fight winning streak. He's getting a lot of buzz about him because of his skill set, his defensive abilities. In his last few performances, he's looked downright good. He's coming off some stoppage wins. Was able to handle a much bigger fighter, Ivan Redkach. Beat him at his own game, too. Outfought him on the inside. Outpunched him. So I'm liking what I see for Tevin Farmer. Let's see if Heyman could take Tevin Farmer to the promised land and get him the opportunities that he deserves to show that he is truly a world-class fighter and a fighter to look out for in the 130-pound division. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.